Okay, so I'm up to, what, 42 more recruits? Oh, wait. Good. 2 of you were actually ready to improve upon. I guess I've got a full-on Nordic army this time, so... Well, for the most part. Suno is now in the hands of the Kingdom of Rhodoks. What the hell happened? In fact, I shouldn't ride down there to find out. I've got an army full of basically weaponized peasants. Ones that have agreed to take up arms. That's literally the extent of their combat experience, is they agree to fight. Let's go to the training field. I'm in a pretty safe spot right now. Suno being a Kingdom of Rhodoks city is kind of worrying for me now, because I made an enemy of them and now they're spreading their influence around. Are you chasing me? Guys, what are you doing? Cease. You know you'll lose if you chase me, right? As is evident by the fact that as soon as they weren't backed up by another party, they immediately turned tail and ran away. Now I need to train up the worthless army that I have again, because that's how this game works when you get down to rock bottom. Just keep beating on him until he learns his lesson. Okay. Well, they should have learned enough to be improved upon. How many of the Nord recruits are ready? Good. I'm actually gaining a few basic troops. When I say a few basic troops, I mean it's at least something. Laptop, why have you just died? Come on, I need you for the friggin' stream chat. Well, screw that. Guess I'll just keep training my troops for now. And try and figure out exactly what the hell is going on with my laptop at this point. Ow. Yes! Somehow I'm alive. Okay, I think my laptop may have just B-sodded, so that's fun. So, no more chat for me, I suppose. Wow, jumping slash to the head wins the round against that. God, these great swords are... swiped round my shield. Damn it. I'm sure I can do better against 4 enemies, right? My 4 best. Okay, that was a tough challenge, but one that I overcame quite well. Right, my laptop just put itself into sleep mode while I was actively using it somehow. Impressive, if I do say so myself. Are you going to come back to life, or are you completely fucked? Well, you didn't ask me for a password or anything when you're supposed to, so you're completely fucked. Good to know. Damn it, I just got a few things to finally work on my laptop on Steam, and then it goes and just dies again. You wouldn't believe how much trouble I've had just getting a few basic things to work. It's Still, it's been fun though. Like, the old Retro Worms games work, so I've been having a blast on those. Literally. Man, I missed how goofy and weird those games used to be. They still are to a degree, but they're just not the same as the old retro look. Like, saying that Worms is a childhood favourite of mine, the old Worms World Party and Worms Armageddon were games that I grew up on, and basically most of my, like, quote, father-son time was spent playing Worms way back when, because it was pretty much the only thing that we actually had to do where we were living way back then. It was nice. Nice try. You had a shield and I made you look like a bitch. Try a little bit harder. Maybe then it might work better for you. Alright, I think I've got my laptop working. I'm going to go log back in if it'll let me. 1 second. Well, it's not blue screened yet, so that's good. Hey, there we go. I have chat back now. The annoying thing about playing games on a console and streaming, especially when it's on Xbox at least, because PlayStation does allow you to actually do stuff. That was a nice parry. What the heck? Militia, my arse. Who trained you? Those parries were good. Like, ridiculously. Do that against an enemy and you'll live forever. Same guy again, huh? Sorry, dude, you're not winning against me this time. Night. Alright, this is actually going well. I should remember to upgrade my troops before they all get to, like, max XP and I can't do anything with them. Oof. Ah. Yeah, two-handed swords, not my strong suit. Okay, what do we got? You're ready to be a footman or a skirmisher? Well, footman leads to cavalry, and that leads to knights, so I'm going to go with that. Right, as for the Nords, ooh, I've got a decent amount of actual archers now. Thank God. 4 more militia, and I believe that's all. Yeah, I could have a worse army out of this. I could also take on those forest bandits, but I'd rather not, because... Well, you saw what happened the last time I took on a major force, and I got absolutely destroyed. So, yeah. Let's not do that again. Oof, crap. Ah, I got reckless and let myself get hit. Well, more of my troops are ready to upgrade, so let's get that done now. Just one more huntsman, eh? Tell you what, I'll go up against a lot of the Swads. They seem to be a lot harder to level up than the Nords, so let's see what we've got, Swad. Nice parry. Nice parry. Not this time. Wow, it's very rare that that swing works against shielded opponents because you're swinging into the shield. Usually it'd hit it even if they don't have it raised. So I've got to admit, above all things that this game seems to excel at quite well, it's shield hitbox detection when you're not actively using it. Like a lot of other games would just say, yeah, you're not using your shield right now, so effectively get the hell out of my backside. Damn it, that's unfortunate. But yeah, a lot of other games would say you've got your shield there, your shield takes a hit, because you're not blocking, you get hurt. In this, no. I mean, if you're not blocking a close range blow, yeah, fair enough, you might get hit. It might still bounce off, but if it's on your back or something and it gets hit by anything, it will take a hit on the shield and not you. It just seems to be a bit more polished like that than a lot of other than a lot of other games. You know? It's the little things that really make Mount & Blade stand out as a game. And honestly, This is the reason I started playing this again now, because obviously, like I said, my laptop's completely buggered. It blue screens pretty regularly. It's no longer the Windows 10 update. It's just me trying to run things on Steam killing it these days. But it's the fact that I can barely run anything on Steam whatsoever. And essentially, because of that, well, damn, I actually came back from that quite well. I'm fiddling with it as best I can to get things to work, but there's no way in hell it's going to be able to run Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. And I really want to play Bannerlord. It's basically Mountain Blade Warband with like 1,000,001 quality of life changes. The game is much deeper. The fact that it's like, it's no longer just, oh, it's a warband. No, it's Bannerlord. You have a banner, your family has a banner, a crest, and you can grow on that. You don't just grow your army, you don't just grow a warband, you grow a clan. Whether you recruit people into it as basically like your left and right hands, various different doctors and such that you bring in. And you can also have your family, which is, you know, husband, wife, kids. And you can actually play as your kids once you die. It's a lot more of an encompassing experience. Not to mention the fact it has permadeath as an option you can turn on. But Mountain Blade has never really been like that before. Don't get me wrong, I'm interested in it quite a bit, because I do want to play a permadeath playthrough where, essentially, you can die in combat at any point, just like anyone else. And, your enemies, should they decide you're a big enough of a pain in their arse, can just execute you if they manage to take you alive even, so the game can just end there. Of course, this is where the incentive having kids comes in, because if you have kids... Oh look, characters died. Switch, I now play as my son/daughter. And that's the thing, because you can't really control what kids you have, or how they develop in the world, up until your point of starting to control them, it's like a fresh playthrough every time. And it's all in one continuous playthrough, where you work towards continuous goals. But every time you have to start as a new character, regardless of how long they've been going and what their skills are beforehand, they still have the challenge of not necessarily being tailored to your experience. It's like in this, you basically get a pretty simple skill system. The skill system in Warband is by no means bad. I wouldn't say simplicity is bad in this case. But just given the fact that it's as simple as I assign an attribute point when I level up, I get experience from fighting and killing enemies, doing quests and whatever else. Fair enough, that may be the case. However, in Bannerlord it's a little bit different. So you get your attribute points, which I think you get one every 5 levels. And you've got your skills. Your skills are very similar to the way they are in this, essentially. It breaks down into basically one-handed weapons, two-handed weapons, pole arms, archery, crossbows, throwing weapons, riding, athletics, and a few of the other skills that you see in here. Like, a lot of the skills, like persuasion, trading... Well, actually, no. Trading is still its own thing, it's now its own little skill tree, but it's all been basically respect. It's no longer you level up by gaining experience in just general experience category and just, you know, throw it to wherever the hell you want it. No, you gain experience and gain skill points in a given thing you're doing. So you gain experience in trade by trading, you gain experience by using weapons in the same way that you gain proficiency in this. And the skill points you have in weapons basically dictates your proficiency with those weapons as it would in Warband. But the thing that makes it different is every skill also has focus points you can allot. I believe you get a focus point every 2 or 3 levels, and the focus points dictate the rate at which you gain experience, which once you max out, gains you a skill point. So each individual stat skill has experience, and you gain skill points and experience in that by using it. And then you gain focus points by leveling up generally, which you do by gaining a certain number of skill points in any skill in the game. The focus points basically dictate your learning rate for experience and also your level cap, quote-unquote, of skill points in any given skill. So applying a lot of them, say you apply 3 focus points in bow right off the bat, you will have a stupidly high XP gain rate with bows, therefore your skill will increase quite a lot and quite quickly. And also, your skill cap will be quite high, so you'll basically be allowed to get your proficiency up quite high without really needing to worry about any sort of limitations early on. Not saying it's flawless to do that, because it can be a bit dangerous putting all your eggs in one basket. But, on the flip side, with everything that you've got to put into a character to make them really good or really adept at any sort of skill, whether it's, you know, a charismatic skill of just persuasion, which I think is just social skill, which also applies to, you know, talking to lords and stuff like that, as well as trading a little bit as well. There's quite a few different things. But all of that, also having perks assigned to it at certain skill levels that you can take, is a bit of a curveball, really, because the perk trees are really good. Like, they're really well thought out. Every perk tree seems to be rather interesting. And I think you get a perk every 25 skill points in any given skill. Maybe 20, I'm not quite sure on the exact numbers, because there's a lot of perks and a lot of different routes you can take. But with all the perks you get, you either have to take one or the other every time you get given an option of 2, or if you like max out a lot of skill trees, there is just one skill that's ridiculously powerful. But it's that whole character is very tailored to one playstyle kind of ethos that you get given with that kind of perk deck. That means when you die in game and have to take over one of your children, they are not going to be even remotely close to what you expect given your old character, because you don't get to choose their spec points if you play with that option enabled anyway. You can choose the spec points of your companions if you have the option enabled to do so, which honestly, it's up to you whether you would. Personally, I would say if you want to go for a more realistic feel in the game, have it set up so that you don't set their skills up, so they get to choose how they develop themselves. But then, of course, that brings with it the whole new challenge of the AI could just set them up in a stupid way, and they could be absolutely useless. Say you've got someone who specialises in bows, and they just go ahead and, I don't know, take a hell of a lot of perks for, say, riding, if you've got them as a mounted horse archer. Because I know that in the riding skill tree, you've got a lot of extra ammo perks. So an extra bandolier of arrows when mounted, an extra set of javelins while mounted and stuff like that. And if you wanted to spec them as an archer and then the game decided now they're taking extra throwing weapon ammunition as a perk, kind of screws you over. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. But on the same token, you don't necessarily get to choose the skills of other people in life. They choose what they take away from something. A lot of RPGs clearly give you the choice of basically skilling your party. And believe it or not, I'm incredibly glad for a lot of that, because my god, the game can be stupid sometimes. But still, it does kind of give you that unrealistic ability of control, really. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a lot better that you make the decision and make a good one than the AI makes just terrible decisions across the board. Because I'm not quite sure how the algorithm works with the game being in early access. I know that, is it Ravenscourt, the studio behind this, or is it Tailwords? I can't remember exactly. I know that both are involved. One's a publisher, one is the actual studio. I believe it's Ravenscourt. But, yeah. Their studio takes early access really seriously. Like, they're not like the typical, you know, it's DayZ early access, where you get the equivalent of, God, 6 years of just stagnated progress, or what people kept calling stagnated progress. No, they released Bannerlord when they knew it was better than Warband, and it could be a good game in its own right. And they're patching it daily. That's how early access should be handled. But it being an early access game means there are still a lot of holes in there. They're getting patched quicker than I can even list them, honestly. I could go over the amount of hotfixes if I could be bothered to read them every single day, because that's how regularly it gets patched. But, yeah, basically, if it was a leaky boat, the guys on board would be stopping it from sinking so well that it'd probably float off into the atmosphere. Honestly, the guys do an amazing job, they have such dedication, and they're so in touch with their player base that virtually nothing goes unnoticed. This is why I trust and adore Mountain Blade as a game. As much as there are a few mechanics that are rough around the edges as all hell that I feel like here, it's because the game is very much designed on PC, and a console port is one of the last things on their mind. The reason I actually bought this, I can't even remember why I did. I think I just saw it and thought, you know what, it could be cool, it's on sale for like 11 quid, let's just try it out. But yeah, I'm so glad that I did, because I've not only found myself playing this game a lot, I've found myself watching a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of streams of it, and really getting involved with the community, because it's a good place to be. And the mods on PC, oh my god, the mods on PC, so many mods, so goddamn many. But anyway, to go back to my original point, this game basically gets handled immensely well in its early access state. It's not overlooked or anything, it's not put on a backbench, it's not given like leeway for other projects. It's the sole focus of the studio is Bannerlord right now. That being said though, I'm not sure if there is an algorithm for the AI assigning perks to itself. Not one that works well anyway. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword if you want to risk it. A lot of people tend not to, simply because it's like, you know, the old feeling of they're a character that I've built up, I kind of want to shape them. And yeah, fair enough when that's your character, that is your avatar, that is who you're playing as, that is your place in the world. Other people that you just hire out of taverns wouldn't be as pliable for you as that. Damn, I was so thinking I had that in the bag. How many of these practice fights have I done while I've been rambling, by the way? I've been completely focused on talking to the points where the game in, like, very, very short-term memory of, like, 2 or 3 minutes ago is pretty much blurry. Just all I remember is the back of Erlen's head. The only reason for that is, what the hell's up with his neck? His neck has a suntan like a truck driver, and the rest of him is so goddamn white, it puts even Seamus to shame. If you don't know who Seamus is, look up the wrestler The Great White. He is known as The Great White for a reason. The man is literally almost see-through. Damn it. Gotta admit though, this has just taken an edge off what feels to be a pretty bad day. Ever since breaking off with the Kingdom of the Nords, I haven't really done much. I started out with a siege, and now I'm just basically training up plebeians. This is a fantastic turn of events that only Mountain Blade can really throw at you, honest. That's why permadeath is such an interesting feature to me, because in this, you can always drag yourself back out of any mire that you put yourself in. Literally any hole you can dig yourself out of. But if permadeath was a thing, would you still be able to get yourself out of a hole that would pretty much condemn you to execution? Would there still be a way to get out of it? I'd like it if there were, but I'd like it if it was difficult at the same time. Kind of like when you break into a town and you've got to beat up the town guards if you get noticed. Actually, I could probably do that now with Erlen, to be honest, because he's actually decent enough with polearms. Because I think you disguise yourself as a priest or a holy man or something before sneaking into the town. So you carry in a wooden staff and throwing knives. So I think I'd actually be able to do that with this character. I've never been able to successfully pull it off before. But I don't know. Maybe, just maybe, it might work this time. However, I am going to fight against my man-at-arms here until he becomes a knight, pretty much. Because not only is he fairly decent experience just to keep sparring against for me, he's also decent experience for the rest of my troops as well. Jarl Reichsen. Fair enough, one of the counts has defected to the Kingdom of the Nords. It's not often I see the Kingdom of the Nords taking people in like that, but, hey, it is what it is. Oh god, combos. Oh, okay, my neck's broken. That looked painful, the way that I landed right there. That block was so hair trigger you didn't even see it, did you? Any of my troops ready to upgrade? It didn't say there were, but I had a feeling that someone would have been. Alright, so I've got 27 huntsmen, 2 archers. I think once I get one more huntsman, I may just want to then go down the route of getting infantry, because having a majority of archers seems like a surefire way for cavalry to just destroy me. Then again, by making an enemy of the Kingdom of Rhodoks right now, I have cut off anti-cav, because they have pretty much the best anti-cavalry in the game. What the hell happened here? How did the Serenids take... Oh god. Does anyone remember when I said I was going to pick on the Serenids and they've all of a sudden just gone, yeah, we'll just push up through here and, you know, take a lot of the middle ground? You know what? I've got another plan. I'm at Mechin right now. Let's go to Ayake and then down to Dramug Castle. I want to see if I can take it. I'm kidding, of course. You think a party like this can take a castle? I don't. Hey, I'm not as despised by people as I once was. Kinda need to buy more food in. Well, I see a lot of dried meat, so I'm buying that. I could buy chicken as well, but chicken's a bit of an expensive food and it rots really quick. Two-handed, one-handed. Ooh, that can be one-handed. I am tempted because I have enough money for that, but what kind of armor can I get here? Thick scale armor. 11.5 grand. Battered plate armor. The fact that that's plate armor. I think I'd prefer this though, because like scale armor just looks more Viking, doesn't it? How much is scale armor? Like usually, not when it's thick. About 8,000? Anything going in the tavern right now? Mercenaries. Boyar Meriga wants to find the forest bandits hideout, or probably the tundra bandits hideout. Boyar Belagru over in Nalag Castle has been asking around for someone who might want work. So Boyar Belagru has a task for a dishonourable rogue. I might just take him up on that. 7 Vega recruits. That's what I want to see. Let's go to Rebark, see if anyone in the newly re-established place wants to be a warrior. Are they deserters? 11 of them. Let's go to the castle, see who we find. I'm kind of wanting to just take it easy after slowly building up my forces until I can get them to pretty good levels. Like near elite levels. I don't really want to risk them anymore. Not unless I know that it's a fight I can win. In that case, it's good experience and good training for my men. Failing that, though, I shall help Boyar Harish with this. Because I want to kill somebody. Everyone can hold here, please. That includes you, man-at-arms. I know what you're trying to do, but you're not going to impress me by charging in alone. And Tundra Bandits are just ridiculously good in the snow. That's pretty much their gimmick, I think. Right in the arm. Pretty sure I would have broken him, wouldn't I? Broken his arm, at least. Oh yeah, I've got a bow. I could be shooting these people. God, they're throwing a lot of javelins here. Whoa! Put down the bow, good sir. Put down the bow. Would you like to try again? It didn't work for you, did it? Literally no problem. Good to see you here, Erlen. We showed those bastards a thing or two, didn't we? Yeah, well, you know, considering I knocked this guy out, can I take him prisoner? I kind of want to sell him into slavery just because it's money for me. I didn't say I was a nice guy. I would have preferred it if it was the deserters, because deserters actually have, you know, decent training and whatnot. Good, there's a ransom broker right in town. Let's immediately sell off the absolute loser that got himself captured by me for another 100 dinars. Good doing business with you. Boyar Meriga, Boyar Belagru. So nothing has changed in the time it's taken me to do a few things. I was going to go to the training field and train a little more. Any of my troops ready to upgrade after that little skirmish? No? Did any of them really learn anything? I did just tell them to hold and stand back and watch, so perhaps not. Anyone at Slesk want to join up? For God's sake. Jesus! Cease your lobbing of javelins at me, you plebeian fool! Come on then! Swing for me! Down you fall, coward. Don't hit me. Oi! Learn your place. How many javelins are stuck in my shield? You have no idea how annoying that is. Hey, gotcha. You're a human pincushion, lad. Okay, I got 200 dinars. And I recruited an extra man. I'll take that. It's not exactly the worst outcome. I only took a few cuts and bruises. Alright, let's get back to sparring. The man-at-arms, 2 of the archers. Let's do it. See, now I'm starting to get a decent strike speed with the two-handers. Well done, you hit the bloody spectator and bounced off. Good job. That literally cost you the fight. Now, I'm going to try and win this one with no backpedaling. Oh, that hurt. Yeah, that didn't go well. I I think I need to practice some myself. Yeah, champion fighter of the Vegas, and you're literally that weak. Right. Guess I should get back to sparring with my men. Let's raise the meek, shall we? The name of probably the best perk in Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord, because it allows you to gain more experience per day for your tier 1 through 3 troops, meaning that your rookies would be better trained than anyone else, and would be then more likely to survive their first fights. Because this is why I'm spending so long at the training field right now, just sparring with my soldiers, is to make them good enough to perhaps not die in their first ever engagement. Because, spoilers, they're probably going to. It's kind of what happens in this game, you know? People of a low level or low rank don't really last long. Let's go! Swing! I got mobbed. Alright, come on, let's see what you got. It's literally a one-on-one. I mean, the Swardian man-at-arms is good, but I don't know. There are better. Let's take on the archers. I know that it's a bit unfair to take on archers in CQB, but everyone's got to be... Ah, they're all striking at different times. Can I poke through them? No? Okay. Whoa, that was... Oh, no, damn it. I got reckless. Well, some of my troops are ready to upgrade, so... I'll take the win where I can get it. Even though the win was literally one man learning to use an axe properly instead of just learning how to use an axe. Let's train up a couple of the huntsmen. I want proper archers. Huntsmen have short bows, archers have long bows. Actually, now that I think about it, who are the archery nation in this game, really? Because, the Kingdom of Rhodoks is spears and crossbows. That's their speciality. The Kingdom of Nords is pretty much just infantry melee specialists. Like, Huskarls are the signature unit. The Kingdom of the Vegas go up to knights. The Kingdom of Swadia goes up to knights, so they're all mounted cavalry. The Kurgat Khanate kind of specialise in lances and horse archery. But does anyone specialise in ground archery, or is that just the Nordic archers? Is that the best ground archery unit there is? I'm in for a bad time here, yeah. Ah, damn it. Alright, time for more personal training. I want more one-on-one duels. It's actually better for me just to keep challenging champion fighters to a fight. Right. On 4. Try and take this on again. Oh god, I've got a pole arm. One hit knocked me out. Then again, I don't think I'm at full health when I'm taking this on, am I? Not quite. I'd be able to take pretty much any blow they'd throw at me if I was, but I'm not. Oh, for God's sake. Yes, training is going swimmingly now, isn't it? I'm just going to keep taking on the man-at-arms over and over again. At least then I know I'm going to get decent experience out of it. It's a duel, and... I was going to say I can win, but apparently I can get my shit pushed in just as well. Yeah, this is going very well now. Cheeky. That's what you get. Don't try and fake me out. Okay, bunch of recruits. Let's do this. At least I can take a hit from a recruit. Try a couple of archers this time. Try and bring up my army in relatively even terms. Worth it for the KO on the enemy. I say enemy, he's one of my troops, but for all intents and purposes for these training exercises, they are my enemies and I shall kill them just as easily as anyone else on the battlefield. Ow, uh-oh. I don't know how I got so lucky as to not get hit again during that. Alright, what do we got? Another footman. Do I want to start going for footmen? I think I do, because having way too many archers seems like a bad idea. Having a lot of archers backed up by melee fighters, on the other hand, is a good idea. Try and bring a few more of the huntsmen up to archer level. Ah. Damn. Getting mobbed by these guys is always the worst way to go. I don't believe that worked. It also separated them well enough for me to actually... Oh, never mind. That face just looks so apathetic after being knocked out. Like there's no emotion on his face whatsoever. Alright, against 4. Go up against my best swords, since they seem to take longer to upgrade than most. Yes! Taking on a couple of the archers again, just to get them a bit more experience. If I can get some veteran archers, that'd be very much appreciated. No, you don't. Not today. Whew. That was close. And a recruit. Just because I want the recruits to learn a little bit more about fighting than swing stuff. Ow. Yeah. I got slightly too reckless and tried to go for a swing when I should have been guarding. It's one thing you learn fairly early on. You're a lot more defensive early game. You become a lot more offensive late game when you're faster with swings. As the higher your proficiency, the more you can use a weapon effectively, meaning that you're not just swinging it around like some clumsy oaf. You're actually, you know, swinging it with grace and speed. He swung. He went down. Wow, without taking a hit. You guys really need to work on your fighting. Let's try that again. Since you're so desperately in need of improvement, I think we need to beat it into you again. I missed! Ah! Whew! That was close. That could have been bad. Right. And again. Gotta run plenty of drills to make sure these people learn how to fight. I thought I'd overstepped my mark there. Oh no. Oh my god. 3 overhead swings, 3 knockouts. Lucky that I'm going up against absolute nobodies in terms of fighting skill. Still, people are becoming better at their professions, so I'm more than happy to take that. Right, how many recruits have I got left? 1 sword. I should have moved you up ages ago, but never mind, we'll get you out of there. Right, sparring practice against 4. Vega recruit, Nord recruit, and the Swad recruit. Come at me with all you've got. Ow. There we go. This may not be really getting me much experience personally, but... well, it doesn't need to get me the experience. That's not what this exercise is for. No, this exercise is purely to make sure my soldiers aren't garbage. Oop, overhead. Nope, I couldn't block either way there. That was just completely wrong block on my part. Okay, what's going on here? Why are the Vega army on a march? Let's take on both men-at-arms. This should be a challenge, because they're both actually quite good. Never mind. They're terrible. Can maybe take a bit more of a beating than the recruits, but still don't fight much better than them. So I've put 1 recruit and 3 random enemies. Okay, I guess one of them was the Swad man-at-arms. One of them was a Nordic archer. I received 3 damage from the little poke, and I got knocked down. Let's train with a recruit one-on-one. Show me what you've got, recruit. Oh. I wanted to end that in style by jumping, but apparently I just didn't get my wish there. Let's go up against one of the archers. Yeah, they're not good with shields. Archers are just not good with shields. I mean, it's not what you'd expect them to be good at, so it's kind of understandable, but... would be nice if my troops were a little bit better with their, you know, their culture's speciality. Alright, finally got a Vega veteran. I don't know why, but the Vegas seem to learn pretty quick. At least that was my impression when I finally started getting some Vega knights. Was that they learned really quickly how to become good knights. Hide me. And let's go with 2 of the Vega recruits, the Swad recruit and a Nord recruit. Hopefully this... This finalised lot of training for the recruits should hopefully get them out of garbage tier. My men just refuse to learn, apparently. Come on, guys. Do I need to get you into actual bloodshed to get you to learn? I mean, I feel somewhat confident in my army's ability to now fight, but I don't know. Never hurts to be more prepared. And considering how well my proficiency's doing out of this, I'd more than happily keep training my men until the cows come home. Not the most interesting thing to watch, but it sets up for more interesting things in future. Ah, poked me through his friend, and again. Nice try, Mr. Manhacks. You can stab through someone else with a wooden weapon, but you can't defeat me in one-on-one. Right, where's that bloody swad recruit? He just does not seem to be grasping combat. I really need to make sure you do. Did you learn from that? I would hope so. Good enough to not be a recruit anymore? Nope. You are far too stubborn. Seriously, I will need to do something with you. I'm determined to make you better. But at the same time, I'm also slightly tempted just to say, you're not getting this, you're fired. You know? It's what people would do in this day and age. Not necessarily what they would do back in, what, the 1200s, 13th century? Nice and easy. Alright, I think I might try and look for a Rhodok caravan after I've trained up a few more of my troops. I mean, how much more effort can I put into just sparring with my soldiers? Seriously. I mean, I'm over 1,500 XP away from a level up. Chances are I could probably easily get to a level up just trying to make these guys grasp their training. Then again, I now do have a reasonable amount of cavalry. 5 cavalry units, a weekly wage of 454 dinars. It's getting pretty expensive. So who knows? Maybe they are actually getting good. Just maybe. Clearly he isn't, though. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to take on a bunch of archers. In hand to hand. Ow. Well, I knocked one out. The training didn't go very well. You mean to tell me no one took anything away from that, even though I knocked someone out? Guys, do something with your bloody training exercises, please. Could have sworn my shield was up there, but apparently not. Oh, still none of my troops ready to upgrade? Damn, these people, or some of them, are just really stubbornly not learning how to fight. Maybe I should just bash this swad's skull in until he finally learns how to use his brain. Yeah, don't think that getting a lucky hit in's no excuse to learn. Or is an excuse not to learn, I should have said. Yeah, you see, my brain's getting frazzled the amount of times I'm having to teach these people. It's just turning itself off, because it's like it's not worth the effort. I think I broke more than his arm there. Straight down. Anyone ready to be upgraded now? Finally! We finally made some progress. Ah, good. One of the huntsmen's ready to become an archer. The recruit is ready to become a footman, which is alright. And the Swadian recruit finally gained enough skill in combat to become a militia. Basically meaning that instead of fighting with a scythe, you fight with a pitchfork or some kind of primitive spear. In fact, what the hell do the bloody militia even fight with? Oh, great. Clubs. At least they get a gambeson. At least they actually get some armour. That's at least a step up from basically rawhide coats, which is basically just a skinned animal sewn together into the form of a coat to use to keep warm. Then again, considering we're all training in the nude here, in the middle of like nowhere, in snow, I'm surprised no one's died from hypothermia yet. You know, if you hadn't backed away, I wouldn't have won that. There's a lesson in backpedaling for you. Keep trying. In fact, you know what? Let's do this. Clearly went to my right, but okay. Because I know there is like an automatic block option in this game, but why? It just takes so much more of the fun out of combat. I know that it's a bit janky when it's on console, and occasionally you do block in the wrong direction, but I'd still prefer the jank, because real combat, in real melee combat, really wasn't easy. Huh. Finally got a trained footman. What about the Vegas? Another cavalry! So that brings me up to 6 cavalry units. How much is the wage on a Vega veteran? 16 dinars. Swadian man-at-arms is like 34. So they're the same cost as a Vega knight. And they use... Is that a mace or an axe? I can't really tell. I wanted a better look at it. Okay, so they're level 21 with 53 health. And they're good with any weapon that is not ranged. They're terrible at ranged and basically have no skill in it whatsoever. Okay. They're actually surprisingly good at trade for no apparent reason whatsoever. I guess because they're good on horseback, so they're better at inventory management. Maybe. Right. Gained another 3 recruits. So I'm back up to 62 troops. Can I get up to 65? Obviously not. Ooh, sausages. I ain't seen those in a while and I do want them. Actually, get rid of that. And that. And that. Job done. Alright, there we go. I forgot that I had some supplies to get rid of, so I'll go to Corot and get rid of them, and I think that's where I'm going to wrap this up for today, I think. That was a redundant sentence. I think that's where I'm going to wrap this up for today, I think. Yes, very good. Fucking hell. I swear English is my first language, and yet I can't even speak it properly half the time. Hello, Bunduk. Greetings, brother. Here's to the doom and downfall of highborn lords and ladies. Yeah, I don't trust you. You might say that, but I still think you're a good person. And I don't hire good people. Alright, let's get rid of the dates, get rid of the ragged leather vest, the helmet, and the chipped vulge. Actually, is there a traveller in here? Rolf. Let me check my ledger here. Yes, your friend is being held in the dungeon at Jamied Castle. How interesting. I remember hearing that rats down there are usually large like mastiffs, they say. Now, for the very reasonable sum of 1,500 dinars, I can't afford to free Rolf. He was literally in a fight once with me. Though one thing I do want to do is find out where exactly Matheld got herself off to. Because I'm now completely without a captain. Wandering Ashik. So, Rolf is currently being held at... Where is it? Who was it up against? I honestly don't remember exactly... There, Jamayed Castle. Few notes. Its village is Mazig. Was that when... Was one of my raids on Mazig where... Rolf got captured by the enemy? I mean, obviously Matheld didn't. I don't know where Matheld is now. I need to find out, because I need to get her back, but yeah. I don't know quite how I'm going to do that, though, because there's no travellers in any of the towns I've visited. I guess I'll try Dirham. It's the centre of the entire map, so there's got to be someone there that knows something, right? Huh? Manhunters. Kurgit. Whoa! 14 Kurgit Lancers in a deserter force. That's pretty powerful. I dare say even most of the Noyans don't have that many Lancers on side. That's kind of scary. 16 Lancers. I wouldn't want to risk that. Not with the force that I've got right now, because despite its progression up the ladder, I'd still say this is more of a fledgling army than a proper army. Do I know you? Ah, no I don't, but good to know that I now have you as a... Caravan guard. Sorry, I don't need any men right now. There's still no traveller here. I need to find a traveller. But I guess that's where I'll start off next time. Recovering Matheld, building up my army a little bit more, and actually getting up to some banditry, because for the course of, well, for all intents and purposes, what is going to be 3 episodes, I have done nothing in terms of banditry aside from attacking and killing one caravan that led to the downfall of my entire mercenary company. Whoops. But until next time, and my inevitable demise yet again probably, I'll see you later.